Have you ever heard the phrase, or maybe you've even said the phrase, if I'm being honest with myself? Are you always honest with yourself? Are you always wanting to be honest with yourself? Well, I'm excited to bring on one of our guests today. We're going to be talking about honesty and forgiveness. We're going to be talking about supernatural experiences with God. There's a lot of stuff we're going to unpack here, so stay tuned because you're definitely going to want to watch this interview. Hi, all. I am Linda Sunshine West. I'm the founder and CEO of Action Takers Publishing. One of our books is Ripple Effect of Impact, and one of our guests today, one of the authors, is Natalie Chilton. Now, Natalie is a cognitive therapist, and one of the things she helps people with is to unsilence themselves and to learn to be honest with yourself. This is a challenge that Natalie, for me, it took about 51 years before I started being honest with myself. And here's the thing, the kicker is I thought I was being honest with myself all those years before until I realized I
Mhm.
wasn't. So let's talk about
Yeah,
honesty. I'm curious, how hard is it for us to be honest with ourselves?
it depends on a lot of things, how honest we are with ourselves. In the last 60 days, actually, I learned something new about lying. And a lot of people lie about little things. They kind of have this part that comes up and just wants to keep secrets. And what I learned about that is it's a trauma response. And I never realized that. And that's something that I've personally struggled with, even to this day, that tendency to hide something. It might not be important at all, but it's the fact that I'm hiding it. Um, and that just is an indication that there might be some trauma under that that created the fear to not be able to be yourself.
When I was raising my own kids, that all I wanted was them to be honest. I didn't want them to
Mhm.
hide things from me, but there's a tendency when we're young to do that. So do you have any idea, being a therapist, like, do you know, where does that stem from?
The message of tell the truth was super intense. And it was said with anger, like I'm a feeler. When the message is delivered with massive intensity, especially to a child, and that's one of my favorite areas is in guiding parents to tone down your intensity when you're giving the messages, um, because the generational trauma of the way that that message was delivered, basically the always tell the truth actually traumatized me, and made me scared. So that was tied to truth telling. So it was like, always tell the truth. It just imprinted me with this fear around truth.
And that's so interesting because that is true. Like me as a parent,
Mhm.
how it'd be just tell the truth. You'd be angry because they're not telling the truth, but then that can create that, like you said, that trauma response. And then suddenly you're probably like drawing
Mhm.
a blank, like, what is the truth anymore?